This shit's fucking awesome. Oh, man. You know, okay. I am not that into sports, okay? Like, my whole life, my whole, like, family is really into, like, sports, like football. And so I would always watch them, like, freaking out over the TV whenever, like, a football game was on. Like, yeah, interception, fucking kick his ass. And I'm just sitting there like, I don't get this. But you know what? I get it now. I get it now, because as I am sitting here on a Saturday night watching a bunch of aliens beat the ever-loving snot out of each other, I'm getting into it. I'm sitting there, I'm eating a fucking burger, and I'm just like, yeah, fucking go, Goku, Vegeta, knock them assholes off the side of the arena. It's fucking great, man. It's fucking great. These are fucking great. These are the salsa Pringles. You go check them out. They're actually pretty damn good. Okay. So Dragon Ball Super episode 97. The real episode 97. I said last week was episode 97. I apologize. Okay. So the Tournament to Power kicks off in earnest. And we get pretty much right into it. About like the first quarter of the episode or so is just, you know, adding a little bit more intensity to it, a little bit more suspense. All the tournament, I mean, all of the universes are just kind of like staring at each other, getting ready to go. There's a moment with Kale with Universe 6. She's really shy and meek, and we find out that she actually has no memory of going Legendary Super Saiyan, so she doesn't actually know her power. You might think that might actually be a detriment, you know, in this tournament. You know, it's just like, well, Kale, you didn't know you could use this power. You've only used it one time. You tried to kill everybody that when you did it the first time. But, yeah, we'll bring you into this tournament now, and you'll be fine. It'll all work out. I don't see it all working out great. But hey, it's Dragon Ball, so, you know, we're gonna see a Legendary Super Saiyan Kale at some points, and she's gonna wreak some havoc, so just get ready for that. All of the Gods of Destruction and the Supreme Kais, you know, they're in the bleachers, they're staring on, waiting for this to happen there. Of course, Gohan brings up the plan, you know, the one plan he really had time to come up with, because, you know, the tournament was, you know, they didn't have a lot of time to sit down and plan this. But he was like, alright, just stand, you know, backs to each other in a circle, you know, which is kind of like a Greek or Roman formation, like the Phalanx, you know, except they actually had, like, spears and shields and shit, whatever. It's like, stand back to back in a circle, and then just, you know, anytime an enemy comes, we'll fight them together. Of course, this plan falls through the floor immediately. You have, you know, Vegeta, Goku being the first one, of course. I love that shit. Don't you love that shit? Goku goes out of his way to put his son in charge of the team. Like, Gohan, you're ready. You're gonna be the leader of Team Universe 7. You're gonna be our guiding light. And then Gohan's like, okay, Dad, I'll try. And then Gohan, you know, he's probably... You can imagine Gohan sitting there at Bulma's place a few hours before this, being like, okay, Dad put me in charge of this tournament, of our team for this tournament. I need to think of a strategy to make him proud. And then he comes up with a strategy, and the first thing that fucking happens is Goku's like, Toppo, I'm coming! Boom! God damn it. You gotta love that shit. Vegeta, 18, 17, they all leave. But that, you know, granted, that's still half the team left. You still have Roshi and Tien, even Frieza for a little while, until Frieza, you know, he even says, like, I'll keep that in mind. But the second the carnage starts, it's just, Frieza's like a little kid at a carnival, you know, he's just like, okay, I come on, let me go have fun, let me go kill people. You're not allowed to kill people. Okay, let me brutally, severely maim people then. I gotta get this action, I'm sorry, you know, it's like a kid when you go to Slinky's Action Zone or something. You know, you can't just be like, okay, now just stay here until, oh no, it's like, you're already knee-deep in the ball pit before you even have time to, like, blink, you know? So, Frieza just heads out and just starts blasting people. The only real thing that the Grand Priest brings up that we didn't already know, like, he goes over all of the rules, like, you're not allowed to fly unless you have actual wings. Not that it does any good for the butterfly chick, because she's the first person to get to get knocked off the edge. The butterfly chick from Universe 10. You know, you're not allowed to heal. No healing items are allowed. Even if somebody is knocked unconscious, that there's still technically part of the tournament as long as they are on the, you know, the stage. The stage itself, that giant pillar that's coming out of the middle of it, that thing's gonna go down, I think, in increments of 10 until the 100 tacks or the 48 minutes pass. So when the pillar gets to the very bottom and it's just a solid, straight stadium, the smooth stadium, then that means that the tournament is officially over. So that'll be a good way to check the time frame. Although I think we better strap in for this, folks, because after this entire episode, after like the good half of this episode, over half of it being the actual tournament, just people beating the shit out of each other, and we just cut to random scenes with like Vegeta just and Goku and then 17 just energy shielding and shit. After going through over half an episode of that, you know how much time elapsed by the end of it? 1 minute. 1 fucking minute. By the end of this episode, after we see 2 characters get knocked off, after we see Goku almost get knocked off, after we see Goku trying to confront Toppo and Jiren, after we see Piccolo and Tien and Krillin and Gohan take on some other aliens, after all of this shit goes on, 1 minute has passed. So we're going to the Frieza school of timekeeping here. That magical watch that Frieza had on when he was on Namek about to blow it up, and the watch was moving like minutes are now hours, apparently. Yeah, apparently that's what we're going with here. So we're gonna be on this tournament for a while. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll get through 5 minutes per episode, if we're lucky. Oh man, okay, so it's just absolute chaos. Like, the second the tournament starts, the whole arena just blows up, like, we have people, not literally blows up, it holds together, but just a big flash of light, and just people are just slamming into each other immediately. The things that we focus on here are, we see Goku immediately go and make a beeline for Toppo. He gets blocked by that guy from Universe 4, the spy guy from Universe 4. I don't really care for Universe 4 too much. They're probably the ones I like the least. Even more than Universe 9, and I didn't think that was really possible. I just find Universe 4 kind of boring to me. Universe 9 is like the conniving, scheming universe, but they're also at the bottom of the barrel. They're like the Yamcha of universes, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Yamcha, but it's just like you feel so sorry for him. Who's gonna come out and just take a hard, fuck Yamcha kind of stance? Okay, probably quite a few people, but that's not my point. The point is, Universe 9 is okay as kind of like the scumfuck underdog loser universe, but Universe 4 is just boring to me, like, oh, they're the conniving universe that's gonna try to use all these underhanded tactics, and I'm just like, Universe 9 is at least, they're upfront about it. They're at least trying. Hey, Bazil is actually the first person to knock somebody out of the tournament. It was the butterfly chick from Universe 10. I think her name was like Liliboo or whatever. And Basil just kicks the fuck out of her and knocks her over. Now we get to find out what happens when you get knocked over, because that was an area of debate. Like, what actually happens? Do you just get erased on the spot, or what's up with that? You fall off the edge of the arena, you fall, and then you just kind of appear on the bench. You get benched, basically. You appear wherever your universe is sitting in the bleachers. So the Universe 10 chick, she disappears, and she gets sent sitting next to Goas and the little lolly angel and the pink elephant dude. And the pink elephant dude, by the way, I can't remember a lot of the Gods of Destruction's name. I know Beerus and Champa. Tequila is the Universe 4 one. Sidra is Universe 9. It's the alcoholic beverage is vermouth, but I forget how it's pronounced as the God of Destruction from Universe 11. Jean, I guess, from Universe 12. But other than them, I'm not really, remembering them well. But, the pink elephant dude, he's like, "You have shamed us! You are the first person to fail!" Oh, and this is great. Whenever the first person fell off, the Grand Priest looks over at Zeno and is like, "I guess it's time now to take out the God Pad." So I'm not shitting you here, these little tablets appear in front of the two Zenos, and it's like an iPad where they'll like remove the person from the roster so they can keep track of everything. It kind of reminds me of actually, hold on, I have my tablet here. it's cracked and broken, but I have it. So they just little tablet just appears here and like, okay, let's see, Universe 10, la la lila boop boop. Okay, they only have 9 now. You know, Zeno has to keep track of this shit. Reminds me of those like little the iPads they make, but they're designed for children, like the really colorful ones, you know, that are like nabbies, that's what they're called, and they're like sitting there playing with their nabby tabs as they're watching this just display of bloodshed. Oh man, what other highlights? Oh yeah, that robot dude from Universe 3, that Naribara, wherever his name is, you know, he starts like the ultimate survival warrior mech machine. You know, he starts doing like his spin attack shit like a top, knocking a bunch of people around, and you think it's actually going to be effectual until, you know, Hit just curb stomps the goddamn thing. So that was cool. Bajil stops it too, but you know, Bajil's Bajil. I think I'm going to give credit to Hit here for actually stopping it first. Then you have a funny scene with Champa being like, nice hit, Hit! So that's the joke that just keeps on giving. We don't get to see anything from Frost. We don't get to see anything from Kale or Cauliflower or Kaba. Botamo, the Winnie the Pear dude, Winnie the Pear? Winnie the Bear dude, he and a bunch of other members of the universes like Universe 2 and Universe 9, they team up on Gohan and the gang. And they enact their strategy of, you know, still grouping together. So they all jump into the air really high when they get surrounded, and they all launch their signature techniques. Tien uses the solar flare, and then, you know, Krillin, Kienzan, Master Roshi, Kamehameha. I guess Gohan, I thought he was going to use the Masenko, but he doesn't. He just shoots like a ki blast from his hand. But, it doesn't do anything. It literally does shit. Like, they, like, launch a beret of their signature attacks. Like, Piccolo uses the Makan Kozappo, yeah, Makan Kozappo, thank you, Abridged series, for making me remember that. And all those attacks hit at the same time. They don't even flinch, they don't even move, it does nothing to them. Now, so that was kind of lame. I felt like at least the solar flare would have done something. The solar flare would have at least blinded them. But it's kind of a lazy form of animation where when these other members, they gang up on Gohan and everybody, you have this scene where they're all just kind of standing around them, like cracking their knuckles, like, and then Gohan's like, all right, let's do this, and they jump up in the air, and they do all their crazy attacks, and then the smoke clears, and it's the exact same frame of animation where it's just like, ho, and it's just like, come on, guys, you could have gotten, they're not even fucking bruised, come on! They took a Makan Kozappo and a fucking solar flare and fucking Kienzan, Kamehameha, nothing, not even a scratch. They didn't even move an inch. That was kind of lame. That was kind of bullshit. I know Botamo from Universe 6, he can kind of resist ki attacks, as we've seen. But other than that, weird. Goku does eventually end up spotting Jiren in this actually kind of funny scene. He encounters Toppo first, as if Goku is immediately put Jiren. I'm thinking Goku's kind of scared of Jiren, so he's like, I'm not gonna fuck with that Jiren guy. Yeah, Toppo, yeah, hey, let's finish our fight, yeah, hey, yeah, but Toppo gets fucking, you know, sideswiped by the guy from Universe 10, one of the big muscular dude, and so he gets knocked away, and then Jiren's behind him, and, you know, Goku sees him, and like, that must be that Jiren guy, even though I know it's that Jiren guy, and so they're about to encounter each other, they're about to fight, when all of a sudden, behind Goku, a guy from Universe 4, this big muscular dude with a ponytail, grabs Goku and just starts to drag him to the end of the arena, basically gonna, you know, they're both gonna, you know, get dropped off at the same time, so sacrificing themselves in order to win. You know, in order to defeat Goku anyway. He's the prime target. So, right at the end of right when they're about to get chucked off, I actually thought, here's the fun thing. I thought that Goku was gonna use instant transmission, because the Grand Priest specifically said you're not allowed to use any floating or flight techniques. Instant transmission is not a floating or a flight technique. So if Goku's about to get knocked off, couldn't he just use instant transmission to lock on to Gohan or Piccolo or somebody else, or even an enemy, even lock on to Toppo? At least he would still be on the arena. He doesn't do that. He just powers up to blue at the last minute to knock the Universe 4 guy over while he stays. He holds on to the edge and gets back up. But hey, we have a Yard Rat in the crowd, so I would believe they would be able to use instant transmission too. And here's an idea. Here's something I thought. The reason that Yard Rat is there is because if Goku ever tries to use instant transmission to maybe get around that thing, I thought maybe a Yardratian might have a technique to counter instant transmission, you know, like instant transmission jamming or something where you can't use it. That's something I want to see, because the Yardratians are not frontline fighter kind of guys. They're aliens that have very unique or special abilities like instant transmission. So that's something I thought that would be cool. Other than that, we don't get to see much from Universe 2. The guy with the gem in his head, he tries to fight Jiren, and then after getting close to the dude, immediately realizes that he's out of his league, and he runs away. So Jiren is literally, I said this last episode, but Jiren is literally just emanating this badass aura, where even when you're in a tournament where your universe is at stake, you realize there's no way I could fucking beat this guy. I'm gonna go over here. So, yeah. I mean, we've seen in the opening credits, and oh, by the way, Frieza has been added to the opening credits. I don't know if that was last week or this week, but he's been added officially now. I'm pretty sure it was last week he was added. I'm just not remembering it right. But let me tell you, man, I know Goku's gonna fight Jiren, and in the credits it looked like they were kind of evenly matched, like bam, 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 like it was like an even sort of kind of traditional fight, but I don't know, it's looking pretty intense here, the way that Jiren's just exuding this aura. And speaking of aura, kind of an interesting little thing. Next episode, we see the preview for next episode. Goku, at the end of this episode, is surrounded by a bunch of members of Universe 9. The trio de Dangers are all there, plus, like, this rabbit girl, this carrot knockoff, and, like, a bunch of other, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Card villains from Universe 9. And they're all surrounding Goku, and Goku's like, well, this is kind of like what I like, you know? And the preview for the next episode shows Goku fighting them, but he's, like, coated in, like, this white aura. And that's odd. Goku doesn't seem encumbered by it. He still seems to be able to fight like normal, but he's just covered in this aura. I don't know if it's his aura or if it's another member of Universe 9 using some weird ability on him. I don't know. But it's just interesting to note. So that's pretty much the episode. The focus of it is, of course, the tournament beginning and Goku almost getting knocked off, but he gets saved at the last minute. You have some pretty funny scenes with Beerus in the stands, like, oh my god, these fucking idiots, man, we're gonna all fucking die, this is ridiculous, man. God, like, as soon as half the team leaves from formation, and the Supreme Kai's like, well, we tried, Beerus is there just like, oh god, damn them all. Me, damn them all. Oh, speaking of, just minor points, where's Kibito at? that it doesn't have anything to do with anything. I mean, who gives a shit about Kibito? I mean, I kind of do, but I'm sitting there, I'm watching, like, it's the Supreme Kai and Whis and Beerus, and I'm just like, huh, I haven't seen Kibito in a while. Wonder what he's doing. Did he die again? I can't remember. But yeah, since we're now talking about titular characters, I think that's the point that end this thing, because it's not a very, you know, expansive episode, not a lot of exposition or anything, just kind of gets your blood boiling, gets you really hyped up for this, and of course, only 1 minute has passed. So 1 minute, two players down, one from Universe 10, one from Universe 4. Goku hasn't learned any lessons pretty much, and plans are bullshit, basically. So we're gonna wait and see where this is gonna go from there. This will be Tekking101 signing out. Hope you guys are ready, boys and girls and sentient mice that are also gods. We're getting into this balls deep.